Hello and welcome to Soul Babes Craft and Creations. I'm Louise and today is Tuesday, and for this video it's my Knit It Tuesday. What am I doing? Well, I am reacclimatizing myself with my knitting. It's something I have used to do and put it aside for quite a while, and now decided I wanted to get back to it. I'm currently knitting a scarf for my youngest son who wants a particular set of colours, which is what I'm currently doing. And from there, he also wants me to knit him a hat and possibly gloves. Not sure on the glove side yet, but certainly the hat, I have already got plans as to what pattern I'm going to use. But I am doing my scarf first, and when I've finished the scarf, I will then do a hat to go with it. So the yarn I'm using is Wendy Giggles, which is a DK weight yarn. This ball is a 100-gram ball. And the colour is WG16, which is named Calypso. And it's this sort of yellow, orange, bright pinky red colours, which is what he's asked me to do. So, which is fine. I'm having no problems with doing it. I'm using the Broken Rib Stitch by So Woolly, Ethan. So Woolly. So the anything that I talk about is linked in the description box below. Now, I haven't done very much this time. Been a little bit busy otherwise, and as said, no. As I have previously said anyway, that I have times when I can do a bit and I can't do a bit. So this is where I have got to. So this is where I am, where I was last time, and this is where I've got to. Now, I was thinking of doing a questionnaire, and I keep meaning to put a post up on my channel to see whether people would give me some questions that they want to know. But I keep forgetting to do so. So, in the comments below, you are welcome to put a question. There will be things that I won't talk about, but there are a lot of things I will talk about. So anything you want a question to ask about, whether it's about my crafting or stuff that goes on in my life or has gone on in my life, post it in the comments below, and I will compile a list over the next few weeks, and I'll probably do a question and answer a question while I knit at the same time. But for today, I went on Google and got it to AI produce a list of crafty type questions. So I thought I'll answer a few and do a little bit of knitting at the same time. I know that each one of these rows takes me approximately 5 minutes. Depends on how well I'm concentrating. So I thought I can sit and do a little bit of knitting and answer a few of these questions. I've got to think there's 25 questions, but I'm not going to answer all 25 today. So I shall answer a few and go from there. So let me move the camera down so that you can see me knitting. So where I now need it a little bit lower. Excuse the mess on the side table. I do keep all my books and everything beside me here. So yeah, it's sitting there beside me. Now, I don't like it that low. Let's move it up just a little bit. And I'll have to hold it up a little bit higher than I would normally hold it. So here we go. Right, let's get myself started. Now, I'm using straight needles. I haven't got yet the idea. Why am I not focusing again? There we go. Camera keeps wanting to lose focus today, so while I'm recording. So anyway, right. Okay, let's get myself started and then we can work from there. Yes, I am slow with how I do. Go through, thank you. So it's knit 1, purl 2 is the broken rib. This particular pattern, no, knit 1, purl 2. So I do have to concentrate on what I'm doing. It's not just get on and go. But let's see. Right. First question is my favourite crafts right now. Well, my favourite crafts right now are crochet and diamond art painting. I'm doing knitting, like I'm currently doing this knitting, but it's not a favourite. I'm enjoying doing this, but in reality, it's okay. I find it a little bit too slow, and I'm more interested in trying to get things finished, especially when you have a lot of things that you need to get on with making. Sometimes it's not conducive for the way I knit. I don't knit that fast, and it's slower than my crochet, so I prefer crochet. And soon as I basically started doing the diamond art, I want to do diamond art a lot more. I wish I could spend more time doing my diamond art, especially as I now have quite a few diamond art pictures that I want to get on with doing. But like I say, crochet at the moment is my most favourite, and that's the one I do a lot of. I have a lot of segments with regards to doing the crochet for my channel. So the things that I make need to be done first before I do anything else. So I set a bit of time for doing the diamond art, but most of it is crochet. So, second question. What crafts have you done? Well, there are a lot of crafts I have done in the past. I've done beading and which is what I use before I started crochet. Now I only started crochet in November, no, not November, August of 2015. That was, um, the reason for that was because I had had a house fire in May of 2015, and everything I had been put into storage. All my knitting, all my yarn, what had been able to be salvaged from the house fire. I lost a lot of, um, lot of stuff was lost in uh, in the house fire, because the fire started in my daughter's bedroom, and she had, um, most of my craft stuff was in her bedroom, because where the house we had was tiny. It wasn't very big, even though it was a 3-bedroom house. Um, the rooms were all tiny, and she had the least amount of stuff in her room, because the boys were in the smallest. No, the eldest was in the smallest bedroom. The youngest, because he was, 10 at the time, he was sharing in my husband's bed, in mine and my husband's bedroom, but I wasn't sleeping in my bedroom at that time. I was struggling to get up and down the stairs, and it was long before we were getting, had a stair lift for me to be able to get up and downstairs. So I was sleeping downstairs on the sofa. Um, so uh, our youngest was sleeping upstairs in the same room as his father, because that was the other bigger room. And then Charlotte had the other bigger room. My daughter had the other bigger room. Um, but purely because it was being part used as storage room for keeping all my craft stuff and, uh, all that kind of stuff. So it was easier for her to be, um, for it to be in her room. It was also where all the children's books were, because we had a huge bookcase of the children's books and everything. We lost a lot, and the fire was contained in her room, but we lost a lot of things because there was a lot of things in her room. Um, but anyway, so I started crochet in the August because we were in we were being moved around, because we were classed as homeless. So everything we kept being moved around in hotels and available flats and whatever else. We were just kept being moved around, and we were living in a flat in Luton, and there was nothing to do. It's not like when we had the house, we had, or things like, cable TV and things like that, but the flat didn't have that. It had terrestrial TV only, which is 5 channels. Here in the UK, we have 5 basic channels, which was BBC One, BBC Two, ITV One, Channel 4, and Channel 5. That was it. They don't have any other terrestrial, and that was then. I'm going back to when that was then. It's different now. We don't have all those channels terrestrial, because everything is now cable or satellite. So, but anyway, the flat we were in that we'd been put in was terrestrial TV only. There wasn't much else that I could do because, like I say, mobility issues. I can't go walking very far. I mean, I could walk further then than I can now, but I couldn't go very far, because it just took the energy out of me. The flat we were in was upstairs as well, so that was thankfully I could get in through the back, which was on level ground. So the way we ended up having to do it was that everybody else would go in through the front door, which was up the stairs, um, and then they'd come and open the back door for me to be able to get in through the back. But even that was still, I had to climb a hill. I couldn't. It wasn't flat ground. It was still a hill to get up there. I just didn't have to climb stairs to get up there. But I didn't go out very much because of that. I was literally trapped in the flat. And I saw an advert on the terrestrial TV for art of crochet, which is what I am using to make blankets. I'm using the blanket pattern that they had in it. I'm using it to make squares to make a blanket on my magazine Makes Monday, because it was a magazine. And yeah, I saw it and I thought, well, I can knit. Slow, but I can knit. Maybe I could learn a new skill. So we started collecting the magazines while we were stuck there until we were offered a more permanent place. It meant that I didn't have to worry about trying to get stuff out, because by then everything had been put into storage from the house. So I had access to nothing. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get the magazine, and because it came with a ball of yarn and a hook each week and whatever else. So I thought, yeah, okay, we'll give this a go. And that's where I learnt to crochet. It wasn't till we got a more permanent. Go away. Huge fly decided to land on my camera. When we finally got a more permanent place, which was the November of 2015, we were given this. It wasn't, I mean, the place we were given, yes, it was a 2-bedroom property. But by that time, my eldest had gone and moved out, more or less. He was certainly in the process of moving completely, because during the house fire, they couldn't house us all. So he had gone to go and stay with friends during the thing while we were in put up in hotels and put up in flats and things like that. He went to go and stay with friends and then decided it was time that he was moving out. I mean, he was at that time, let's think, 2015. So that's, come on, brain. That was 11 years ago. He will be 30 this year. So he was 19. So he was ready. He was, although yes and no, he was ready. Medically wise, no, he wasn't ready. He suffers with epilepsy, and has seizures fairly regularly, and they weren't under control. no matter what we did, we couldn't get him under control because doctors were turning around and saying, "Well, this isn't epilepsy. He doesn't have every time they did all the scans and everything. No, it's not epilepsy. No, it's not epilepsy." It wasn't until we finally managed to actually get a video of him having a seizure from start to finish, which was taken by his girlfriend at the time. And they'd finally got him into a neurologist appointment with that video, and they said, yeah, okay, let's do something about this. They finally put him on medication. It's still not fully under control. He still has seizures as and when, but we can't really do much else about that. But anyway, where was I? Why was I going that route? So we were moved into this two bedroom property, so there wasn't a lot of space. So we couldn't get all the stuff out of storage either. So it was like, okay, I'll just continue doing the thing I was the art of crochet, and that's where I learnt to crochet. Just pause a second. Okay, back again. So yes, that was why I learnt to crochet. But prior to learning to crochet, I was doing beading, which I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed making jewelry and things from that. One of the things that the neighbour that we had at that place, it's not the same place that we're here now, but the place that we were, it was still temporary accommodation as far as the council were concerned, but it was a more permanent temporary accommodation. We were there. How long were we there? Aid? How long were we at Easton? Yeah. So for just over 5 years we were there. And then we were given this property that we're in now, which is a permanent property. Although how permanent is a different matter, but as far as the council are concerned, it's a permanent property. Because it's social housing, so that's we're in social housing. But while we were at Beeston, I continued to do the art of crochet. But our neighbours from there got married. They'd been together a long time, but hadn't got round to getting married, and got married. And I made quite a bit of things for them for their. I crocheted 18 shawl for all the bridesmaids, and for herself. She had a shawl for herself, and then I made, like I say, total of 18. Was it 18? Yes, eight for 18 bridesmaids, including myself and my daughter. I was matron of honour, and my daughter was maid of honour. Made a mistake there. Where am I at? Like I say, I'm not concentrating fully on what I'm doing. So that was a knit, not a roll. So I made the shawls, and I made all the necklace sets and the groom's workman's sets, as well as so I did. And I also made the table, um, the table decorations for the reception afterwards, using flowers and beads and things like that. So yeah, it was. I used quite a few of my crafting skills. So I've done beading, I've done um, knitting and crochet and diamond art painting. I cannot draw. I tried. I have tried to draw and paint, but I cannot draw or paint that looks anything like it's supposed to look. Um, I don't have steady enough hands to do it properly. Um, and what I see in my head does not translate to what my hands can do. With knitting and crochet, I can translate what I want into what I make. I can't in my drawing or in my painting and colouring and all that kind of. I cannot do it unless the picture is already drawn, ready for me to colour. No, I can't do it. Um, and that's been the trait since I was a child. I have not been able to draw to save my life. So it's how I say it. As much as I want to, I just can't do it. Um, what else have I done? Let's try and think. I've done resin. Um, Again, that's something I didn't actually start doing resin until I was living here at this address where I am now. Um, but I've had to put a pause on doing it because I seem to be having a reaction to the resin vapors, so I've had to pause doing it. I will get back to it at some point. Um, when that will be, I don't know. I'm hoping to get back to it before Christmas this year so that I can be making the Christmas presents that I make, because I have a large family, and a large family and friends that I make something for every year. And I would like to again this year make some resin pieces. I mean, I did last year some resin pieces. I want to make some different ones this year. I have already bought the things to make it with. I just can't do it until I get this machine thing that I'm looking at trying to get to make it. Trying to get yarn from this that's just decided to give me a little bit of yarn bath coming out of the ball. Um, so I'm hoping Christmas to do it, but we will have to wait and see. Trying to think what other crafts have I done. Um, I used to do baking and doing cakes and things like that. Um, Never done sculpting as such, other than the bits of sculpting I've done for doing cakes, but even that isn't really sculpting as such. Um, I can't really think of any other crafts particularly I've done. I mean, I would quite happily attempt more or less anything. I'll certainly give anything a try once. Um, if I like it, then I'll keep going. If I don't like it, then it just gets put to one side until another time when when I might try it. Cross stitch. I used to do a lot of cross stitch. Um, I don't do it quite so much now. Again, I find it too slow and too fiddly when you've got big hands like I've got. Um, Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to see what you're doing, and work on cross stitch like that. So yeah. So years I've been crafting. How many years I've been crafting? Well, I was a child when my mum taught me to knit. Um, and she taught me basic stitches, which is what I'm currently doing now is basic stitches, the knit and the purl. And I used to make little things, and I suppose I was probably 8 or 9 years old was probably when I started doing knitting. Um, Crochet, as I say, was 2015. Um, Resin is sometime since 2020. Cross stitch, probably, well, um, that would have been something I probably started not long after when I left home. So I would have been 20, so that's going back about 30 odd years. Um, it was probably something I used to do just to pass the time rather than anything else. Um, Beading, again, that's something I've probably done on and off for quite a few years. I mean, I know I was working with beads at the same time as I was working with doing the cross stitch. So yeah, quite a few years I was doing the beading stuff. Um, 3 words that describe my aesthetic. My 3 words would be anything and everything. I will do, I'll attempt anything, and I'll try everything at least once. Um, if I enjoy it, then I keep going. If I don't, well, it will just get put to one side until maybe I might try it again and decide on whether or not I like it or not. Sometimes you have to try these things more than once to decide on whether or not you like doing it. Um, but yeah, that's my 3 words. Anything and everything. Colours I am drawn to lately. Okay. Well, I love all colours of the rainbow, but my favourite colours are deep purples, which is up that side up there is right here is the deepest purple I've got. Now it on the screen at the moment looks very dark black or blue, but it is actually a very deep dark purple, and it's called Emperor. It's the Stylecraft Special DK, and it's called Emperor, and it's probably my favourite purple. And then there's the blues, which are there behind my head. None of them are particularly my favourite. I like the aqua turquoisey blues, um, which I don't think I've got any at the moment of any of the turquoise. Not that's in there anyway. I've probably got it in a different in one of my certainly in my art of crochet has turquoise in its colours. So yeah, it's sort of turquoise and purpley blues. But I have noticed that lately a lot of the things that I colours that I go for when I'm doing some of the things that I'm making seems to be the pinks. Why? I haven't got a clue, but it's the hot pinks more than the pink. Seem to like the hot pinks and the oranges. So it's the sort of neon type colours that past, don't know why. Those have never been colours that I've been particularly drawn to in the past. But lately they seem to be things that I've noticed I seem to be doing a lot of things that involve those colours. So, but I don't know whether that's just because it's what's being picked out on the things that I'm doing on my Monday and Tuesdays, or up until now, my Monday and Tuesday things. So, yeah, possibly. Right. That is the first 5 questions. So I'm going to just finish this row. I've not done very many rows. I think I've done 2 or 3. Well, it's got to be 2 or 4 rows. So I know I haven't done much. And it's probably because of the fact I've not really been concentrating on what I'm doing. Hopefully I've not made any mistakes while I've been doing this, because I've not really been watching what I'm doing. But that's, I say, the first 5 out of the 25 questions. So what I will probably do over the next few weeks is I will continue to answer the questions that are on this sheet that I've done. If you have any questions that you particularly would like me to answer, put it in the description, in the comments below. And yeah, I've done 4 rows. So there we go. There we go. Done 4 rows because I was still in the darker of the orange, and I'm now just starting to go into the yellow. So there we go. Right, let's put my stoppers on the ends so that I don't lose my stitches. There we go. Right then. So if you have any questions, please put in the comments below, and I will make a list of them and keep them to one side and see what happens on that. And I think, yeah, I might, over the next few weeks or the next few turns, continue to answer these questions that I've got on my list here, plus any others that come up on my in my description box, and do a few rows. I'll try and do some more knitting in between so that it gets a little bit more done than 4 rows. But I think I might enjoy doing this for a little while just to keep it going. So, with everything being said and done for today, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Love and kindness to everyone. Bye for now, and I'll see you all soon.